Yes, come on now. Come on now. Yeah, thank you. Look at her. All right. I am excited to be here. I am not from here. I am from Nashville, Tennessee, from the volunteer state. I have volunteered to come to Idaho because I wanted to see what America looks like over here. This is what it was all about. This is what got it started. I love Idaho, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, easy to spell. I love a state that just says make it 5 letters. That's all we need. And let me tell you why I love Idaho. Because when I look at you people, I look at these kids, I look at the elderly, I look at all the people here with their guns and their AR-15s, and they've got everything. We've got this guy who's not even real. He's a hologram. And let me tell you why I love Idaho, because you guys remember what made America great. You guys remember the blue-collar, pull yourself up by your own bootstraps America. I'll tell you why I love you, because you hunt, you fish, and you don't apologize for it. That's America. That's America. Oh, I am sick up to here with the political correct. Don't shoot the animals. They might get their feelings hurt. This is Idaho. You don't even pretend to be animal rights activists. You people are see the bunny, shoot it, eat it, make a hat. Out of that's America. That's a cute bunny. Yeah, it sure was a cute bunny. That a snake? No, that's a boot right there. Put it on. That's America. Shoot it, eat it. You got a head left over, hang it on your wall. Why? Because you remember that we were a country built on individuals. Individuals. And you needed the ability for this country to work, that people would be virtuous people. Every one of the founding fathers said if they're not ethical people, virtuous people, religious people, this country will not stand. And that's what I see here today. Oh my goodness. I mean, how do you... Okay, good job. Thank you. Just trying to get it going. Let me tell you what I love about you guys. Men and women together, coming to worship together. That's what I love. I see the men and women going to church on Sundays. And not only that, but when you go to church, you're packing. How do you not love that? That has got to make your altar calls a lot more effective. Well, would you like to accept Jesus as your Savior? I don't know. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But you see, you guys are part of that plan. You're part of the remembrance, of the legacy, of the chain of Americans who came together as individuals and then said, let's be one. Let's be strong. I mean, I see this man right here, Diego Rodriguez. One guy decided something has to be done. Now, we all thought it. We all believed it, but he said, let's do something. He didn't talk about it, didn't wring his hands, didn't whine. He said, let's get Idaho together and let's tell the government that you forgot your place in the pecking order. Let's make sure you understand that we believe, of course, in the Constitution. We believe, of course, in being good citizens. We believe, of course, we want no one to die. We believe, of course, that whatever is necessary to make this thing work, we're ready to do it. But you have to have the consent of the governed to move forward, my friends. That's America. And so I want you to give a round of applause. He wouldn't have asked for it, but for Diego Rodriguez for organizing this event today. American, just doing his thing. Now you think I'm overemphasizing this. This man's name, as you heard, is Diego Rodriguez. If I'm not mistaken, he's only the second Mexican ever to make it to Idaho. There's three. The other guy's got the taco stand. I've been there, yes. But here's what's so crucial and important to you, America. Diego told me a story that he had another gathering like this, and that the press came to vilify him. It was a church. Oh, it was a church service. No wonder. I didn't realize it was so dangerous. Okay, now it makes sense. The man had a church service. The press came, took pictures, and they claimed that Diego Rodriguez was a white supremacist. The brownest guy in this crowd was called a white supremacist. Apparently the left has run out of ideas. But I love that. I love that you stood forth and you did the strong things. You see, one of the things that we're looking at today with this gathering of you folks is people with different histories, different people with different backgrounds coming together and being one, because that was the key to America. What you hear from the left is multiculturalism. All cultures are the same. No. You want to know if your country's great or not? Do people want in? Or do they want out? And I don't hear about people digging tunnels trying to sneak into North Korea. Anybody hearing about that? They went into the United States, as they should. It's the greatest nation the world has ever known. It has given more freedoms, more help to other great people throughout this world than any nation on earth. It's a great nation. I didn't say the people are inherently better. But the nation, the creed that this Constitution was formed on, was that we would live under this idea that all men are created equal by their Creator. That is the key. The founders were very specific. We don't get our rights from the government, because if we do, they'll go hide in a condominium. We get our rights from God. Why does that matter? Because if God gives you your rights, man can't take them away from you. That's how the game works. So I come up here on a day like this, you're going, why are they bringing a comedian to such a sobering event? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Number one, I'm cheap. They have closed down every comedy club, every bar, every church, every venue where human beings used to come together and laugh. They've closed them down. I am now going to leave this place after this great event with a bag of potatoes. That's all I get. But at least they're Idaho potatoes, the best potatoes in the world. And you are charismatic, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And then I came out here, and they honored me to come out and be with my fellow citizens, because you are. I'm from Nashville. I was born in Indiana. We moved to California. I now live in Tennessee. I'm right here with Idaho. Why? Because I'm a citizen of the United States. Every one of you men and women and kids are my brothers and sisters. We have something at stake here as a nation. And I love that. The other reason we wanted to have comedy was because we should be able to laugh again. Because we are going to come out the other side of this better, smarter, wiser than we were before. And I cannot wait for the day, he better hurry, when President Trump calls China up and says, you owe the Americans $1 trillion. Why is no one talking about China? They did this. Are we going to stand for it, or are we going to expect them to pay us back? And Italy, and the UK, and everybody else. You see, that's what we really have to decide. Do we expect ourselves as Americans to truly be able to regain the freedom that has been taken and maintain what we were? Because it's never going to be the same, guys. It's never going to be exactly like it was. But if there's one thing I hope you grasp from this whole experience, do not take freedom lightly. It can be stolen. It's a gift. And that's why I love it. And Idahoans of all the states that should not have shut down, come on. We've got to have a little common sense. I actually found out. Apparently that was the left's answer to trying to shut me up right there. We'll send children after them. But they did the count. Over 1,800 people came here this afternoon. 1,800 Iowans. I did my research and discovered that is more people than live in the state of Idaho. Do you understand what that means, Governor? Idahoans have been practicing distances and social distance for 125 years. You know how to do it. But what I want you to remember is we should always believe there's hope. We've gone through lots of things in this nation, lots of things, and we've made it every time because we never gave up. I do feel a little concerned about the way this was handled. I don't know how we're going to live this one down. When the Revolutionary War started, we were willing to fight against our country of origin. Civil War, we were willing to go man against man, brother against brother. World War II and I, we were ready to go against the world. We had terrorism against us. We've come out on the other side every time. Every time. Little did I know that when a virus hit, the thing that would be most important to Americans was toilet paper. If we plan on hanging on to our liberties and being strong and vibrant, I think we better put our priorities in a different place. We're going to have to come up with some new rules. We're going to have to remember who we are. We're going to have to remember to find the normality that we need. And yet, if it takes a little bit of social distancing, so be it. That's what I got right now. I've never performed on a mausoleum step before. Oh, thank you, Lord. You scared the crap out of me right there. After the event, people are going to line up, and you're going to march around this building, apparently 7 times, and then the edifice will fall to the ground. But you're Idaho. And I got to see a piece of what you're all about by traveling around. I flew into your airport, or driveway, whatever you call it. It's like that big. I didn't understand. It's the first time I've ever about to land, and the guy pulled up because he didn't want to hit the guy in robe and slippers getting the mail. But I got in here, got to drive around, and I discovered the biggest waste of taxpayer money in Idaho. No, that would be redundant. He said Brad Little. I didn't. He said it. That's right. I know who he is. Got this poor girl running back and forth to try to let me know what's going on in Idaho. It's the governor. It's okay. I found the biggest waste of taxpayer money in Idaho. It's your incredible, optimistic, but naive investment in speed limit signs. They're not working. Clearly, there is no limit to the speed in Idaho. Don't waste the paint. Your Idahoans call it what it is, speed, because that's all I saw. It was just like... And then I made a mistake. I'm not from here. I made a blunder. Without asking permission, I accidentally merged into the fast lane. I'm looking at the faces of people. Oh, that was you? I don't know how fast you're supposed to go in the fast lane in Idaho. But apparently you got to go faster than the fastest guy that's fastly approaching your butt. You want to be in the fast lane in Idaho, you better be the fastest man in Idaho. Because I was just minding my business, and there was a guy in his big old Idaho truck. Ah! I'm like, what is happening here? Ah! He had 2 kids in the back seat in car seats. Apparently, this was a teaching moment. Kids, look at this idiot. He's going like 70 in a 70. What has happened to America? We are now getting angry at people that obey the law. This same guy, by the way, that would get angry if he got pulled over for speeding if the cop was hiding. Hey, where were you? Behind that bush. Oh, that's not fair. You're supposed to be out in the open so I can slow down before I pass you. This is Idaho. There are no rules. But you have your own flavor. This is what I want you to grasp. This is why we are seeing protests throughout the entire country, because the founders knew that each state would have its own flavor. It would be founded, it would be, people would come into this area and populate it from different parts of the world. And we need people from all over the world. Absolutely. We need people from different parts of the world. But I said that there's a difference between multiculturalism, which keeps us in groups, and the actual Latin that America has used throughout. E pluribus unum. Out of many, we want the many, one. We have a culture, we have a way that we do things. If you want to participate, please come and bring it to us. We need what you have. You're older than us. Come here. And that's what I've discovered. See, each state's different and has its own flavor. I mean, this is Idaho, man. I think I counted 12 deer crossing signs on the way here, which is ironic because I counted 13 dead deer. Clearly, the deer are taking these signs literally. And they never make it. They shouldn't be called deer crossing. It should be deer tried crossing. Deer took a shot. And it's always the little ones too, right? The little baby deer, or the little mama deer, the fawn. No, wait, what's the fawn? Fawn's the baby. What's the mama? Oh, so doe's a deer, a female deer? I got him in Idaho. Yes, I did. It's always a little baby. You know, I'd never see a 10-point buck on the side of the road. You know why? Because a 10-point buck learns to send his family out first. Hey, babe, it says deer crossing. Give it a shot. All right, let's go a little bit further down. All right, son, no signs here. Go so for it. All right, I'm sticking on this. Gonna need a new family next season. But you have your own flavor. You have your own way of doing things, your own culture, your own habits. And that's how the founders wanted it. Do you know that any ruling throughout our history that stated that you cannot use tax dollars in a religious place, whether it be in a school or any kind of function like that, was an erroneous ruling? You can use tax dollars. You can have Jesus Town if you want to on tax dollars. You know what you can't do? You can't make it that way through congressional law. That's what the First Amendment states. Congress, first line, first word, Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion or forbidding the free exercise thereof. Let me ask you a question. When was the last congressional law that stated you have to have a nativity scene in the public park? None. When was the last congressional law that said you have to have a Christmas pageant in school? Never. When was the congressional law that said that you have to pray in school? It never existed. We have had that right stripped away, and now you think it's just. It's not what the founders had in mind. You can also have an atheist town if you want with taxpayer dollars. You just can't do it by law. That's what we're protesting here. It's not whether we disagree. We have a right to disagree. People can disagree with us. You can't make a law that strips me of my liberties. It's unconstitutional. The end. This is crucial. As a gentleman that was in prison said, you know, if you don't do something, if you don't protect and defend your freedom, I guarantee you it will be taken. That's what the Second Amendment was for. Every totalitarian regime starts with the disarmament of its people. Everyone. So you guys should be proud of who you are and the flavor of Idaho, because each state is different. And the founders were smart. They're intelligent people, but they didn't make it so that you had to be a genius to start a state. They wanted the common man to be able to do it. You didn't even have to be able to read. Look at Arizona. No, what I mean is clearly they were put together by cowboys who were illiterate. How do I know? Look at their capital. Well, I guess we're going to need a capital. Okay, what do you want to call it? I say we call it Phoenix. How do you spell that? Well, P. H. Hey, let's get it right now. Let's get it right. Fee. O. What am I saying? In America, if you want to spell Phoenix P-H-O, you can. That's freedom, my friend. But we have a young man up here who's confused by that. How old are you, son? 20. Okay, he was confused. I was talking to him, and it's the first time he's ever had somebody talk to him that wasn't in a screen. First time he actually heard words being spoken and not on a text. That's all I ever hear from these kids now. We got a text. You didn't know how to text? You didn't get the text? Oh, how did you survive without texting? That's right. I didn't have text when I was your age, kid. We had a thing called a telephone, and you could actually hear the words. It was miraculous. And you know what we didn't want to hear? Your words walking around. That's why we had a special place if you wanted to use a phone in public called a phone booth. How are ya? I would like to say that he's honking because he's on our side, but unfortunately it's just because he's drunk. It's Idaho. It's 3. It's time to get going. You know how I am. But I want you guys to know that each state will be unique and different. Every one of them. Look at Florida. Here's a state that just hangs right out there. You have your camera on a boom, but you're right next to me. Would have saved a boom rental and just did. Oh, you're on the 6 feet rule. You're on the 6 feet rule? Hey, dude. Yeah, that's Tennessee air, yeah. That's right. Florida just hangs out there, surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, attached at the top, kind of like saying we want to be part of the U.S., but if things go wrong, we want options. We get a tyrant in office, we're sawing ourselves off and rowing to Cuba. That's where we're heading. Why do I love it? Because they let their alligators run wild. I love that because that's what America was. Give me the opportunity of risk. You don't get to nanny me. You don't get to baby me. If I want to go out there and there's alligators, that's my business. That's what we're talking about. They let alligators on the golf course, for crying out loud. That is taking handicap to a whole new level. You'd think they'd be protecting those, but you know what they most protect? You know what animal they most protect? The manatee. That's all I ever see is the manatee. Oh, don't hurt the manatee. Don't scare the manatee. Don't frighten the manatee. If you don't know what that is, it's called the snowflake dance. Okay, don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt the manatee. Don't scare the manatee. Anybody ever seen a manatee? Maybe the ugliest animal of all time. It's this big, fat, bloated... Wanted to be a mermaid, didn't make it. It's like an inner tube, went wrong. Manatee, it's an Indian word. It means God gave up. Started making a cool animal, got distracted, and it wandered away. Hey, I got something going here. What is it, God? Wait! We're not even finished. You look like an idiot. Come on back, brother. Got a few people here who'd love to meet you. Oh, did he still run off? Yeah, that also is freedom. You have the freedom to dissent. You have the freedom to hate, if that's who you are. And you also have the freedom to be a coward. So what am I trying to say to you guys today? I wanted you to be able to laugh a little bit because Lord knows we've spent a lot of time in the last few weeks and months wondering if there's going to be an end to all this. We've watched people's lives and livelihoods be taken from them and go so far and deep in debt that they don't know if there'll ever be a way out. We have watched our liberty be stripped away. And even though in the beginning, when nobody knew exactly what was going to happen and exactly what we were dealing with, and so people maybe made some rash decisions, now that the science is in, now that the time has come, now that we have the Swedish model, now that we see the states that have not shut down and see that this can be done without destroying people's lives, it's time to change your formula. That's what you're here for. To change the formula. And that's why we can come together as one. You guys can sign that and say, I am an Idaho citizen and I want business back opened up. You can sign it. I could sign it too, I suppose, but who cares what I have to say? I'm leaving. I've done my damage. Now I get the heck out of here. But what I'll take with me is this memory of saying, just like in my faith, with our commonality, we have something in common. Yes, I am a Christian, I admit it. I admit it. I love God. I believe the United States is the greatest nation on earth. And I hate political correctness. I want to watch political correctness die in my lifetime. But first, I want to watch it suffer. And as long as I got a mic, I'm going to do what I can. I've had people that have even tried to use my faith against me and say, hey, in Romans it says that you're supposed to obey the government. That's true. I'm supposed to be a good citizen, the best of citizens. But I am never obligated to go against or to be part of a law that is unjust or circumvents the law of the living God. I will not compromise there. Again, as Mr. Bundy mentioned, we all admire MLK for his peaceful protest. This has been peaceful. We always admired the man that said, I will stand against tyranny. But keep in mind, he was going against the law. There was a law that said you don't get to sit here. There's a law that says you got to be social distanced from white people. There was a law. Can't sit with them. Can't eat with them. Can't ride with them. Can't do anything with them. And he said that is an unjust law, and an unjust law is no law at all. We have much to learn from the civil rights movement and what these fellow Americans went through and sacrificed for their freedom, but also for ours, to remember how hard it is to get it and maintain it. I've had people come to me and say, well, you know, you should obey the laws of the land, not if they're unjust, and that you are Christian. So you need to respect the government. And I said, I know. Do you know who the government is in the United States? The people! 'Cause 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 ' And because I'm not politically correct and I believe and hate cultural Marxism from the Frankfurt School of 1920s that inculcated itself in the United States, started in Columbia University, and began to create what is known as cultural Marxism that has now evolved into what has become the new secular religion of political correctness to destroy our freedoms, to strip our liberties, and to tell me I have to censor myself because you disagree with me. I would rather die. Here's how you know if you believe something. Not that you say about it snarkily on Facebook and then run and hide in your basement. Not if you go past here flipping people off because you disagree with them. That's not it. You want to know how you can tell yourself if you believe something? Are you willing to die for it? The founders believed that there were some things in life more important than life, and liberty was one of them, because they believed that freedom was a natural law given to us by the creator of the universe. And that's where I have put my line in the sand, and that's where I will live or die. I've even had people say, you Christians aren't supposed to offend people. And when I hear that, I say, apparently you know nothing of my religion. We're not allowed to maliciously offend people. Not allowed to think I'm better than you. I'm not. Not allowed to think God likes me more. He doesn't. Not allowed to think that I'm superior. I'm not. Trust me. The only reason I'm a Christian, it's the only religion that would have me. I tried to join. Can I join you? No bacon. I'm out. I'm out. Kind of God would deny me a BLT. I'm out of here. But listen carefully, America. If the truth offends you, that's your problem, not mine. The truth is supposed to offend you. That's how you know you don't have it. In the Christian world, it's called conviction. The knowledge that you are no longer where you belong in the path of God's righteousness and freedom. Yes, there's different religions, and there's probably atheists here, and there's Mormons here, and there's, I don't know who is here, maybe agnostics. It doesn't matter. We're here freely, we're here safely, we're here peaceably, and we're here to take a stand. We will do the best we can to be the best citizens we can, but we will never, ever give up our liberties and allow the Constitution to be breached, destroyed, and thrown aside at the whim of someone who has no authority over me. You are just a fellow citizen that I elected to represent the voice of the people. That's what America is. That's why we're here. God bless you for coming, and God bless America, the greatest nation the world has ever known. Thank you.
Give it up for Brad Stine, ladies and gentlemen.